Well, it's been a long time since I've been to Braley Pond, but I used to hike on the Shenandoah Mountain a lot. It's a great area, Shenandoah Mountain and Ramsey's Draft. I have many fond memories, but it's been years since I've been in there, but I can remember the sights and the sounds very well. I was teaching at Bridgewater College, and our older son John and a fellow hiker were with me, and it was in November. My wife says that there was a threat of snow, but I don't recall that. But I used to camp in those days with an old heavy-duty black tarp that I would string up over a low-lying limb and then stake it out on the bottom with stones. So I had that along, and we headed up there in November, as I say, in my VW bus, and we hiked into Bother Knob, and it started to snow that night, and so I had put up the shelter rather quickly because the snow was coming down, and I didn't have it draped properly, and had it draped over 2 limbs instead of 1 with the stones on the base. And so we were asleep that night, and heavy snow came, and it settled down pretty much and landed on my son's chest. The whole tent contraption did. I remember that, and I also remember that our friend Chuck Nichols had put a can of beans on the fire and had not properly opened it, and that it had exploded. But anyway, we found ourselves in a heavy snowstorm. Actually, we had my VW bus was too much embedded to even move, and we started to hike out to the highway, but the snow was so deep that it sort of started a leg cramp. So we found another couple in there that had their car in the snow too, but we knew we couldn't get out that day, so we found a mountain cabin that I knew was up there on the Shenandoah Mountain out there, and it was open, and we went in, made ourselves at home. I remember it was dark when we got into that cabin, and I remember not seeing some steps leading down to a lower room where they had some metal bunks, and I missed the step and fell into the darkness and grabbed a metal frame and cut myself. So I went out and stuck my hand in the snow and stopped the blood. Then I remembered feeling, well, we need to get out of here, so I'll make some snowshoes. So I made some snowshoes out of pine boughs and was sort of pleased with what I've done. I mean, it didn't look like any ordinary snowshoes, but anyway, they sort of did. But my wife had, of course, been concerned since we were supposed to be out only one night, and we'd stayed out 2, so she had alerted the proper people in the rescue squad. Had a 4-wheel drive. They drove in to look for us to Bother Knob, and they actually found us, but my son and I realized we couldn't move our car and we couldn't get out. My wife and a friend had tried to drive up the mountain. They couldn't make it. So we went on out with them to Bridgewater, and they had at the firehouse, they had all sorts of items and food for rescue workers and whatnot, and we were the only ones that they had found. Our friend Chuck decided he would wait and hike out, so he stayed, and my son and I had all this good food to ourselves, and we did appreciate that, and even went to the trouble of thanking everybody. And then we appeared in the paper next day or so. They took pictures, and we were real heroes, I suppose. Pat, my wife, says she would never alert anybody again. It was up to us. She had been embarrassed to say what kind of equipment we camped in. It would have been okay, except for the fact that it sagged down on my son. But we enjoyed the experience, but we were there in the days before the cell phones, so we couldn't get any word out to anybody. So that was unhappy, an unhappy feeling I had, since I knew that the family was concerned. But that was an experience that in November, an unlikely blizzard it was, really a heavy one. It was an experience that I will never forget. Some wonderful hiking opportunities in this area. We're very fortunate in Virginia to have such a wonderful forest, and I hope they will remain this way and not be clear-cut or devastated for mining exploration. We need to hold on to this valuable land and leave it the way it is as best we can.